I raise within you, but against you, a rage without peer, an exasperation that stirs up the zeal of consuming all knowledge and all discourse. What I want is that your spirit be charred, that your reasons burn, under your bindings turned into coals, and those coals into slag heaps, into thick coal tips. The bell speaks, the one from the bell tower. I sound the alarm, but it's no use. There is nowhere to flee, no place for you to run for safety. You dwell only in yourselves and fold onto yourselves. You are like a city fortified and set ablaze from all sides, and whose ramparts block all escape. There you are, books, delivered. Books is livre, delivered is délivré. There you are, books, delivered to your own flame. And who was ever saved from the destructive forces emanating from his own heart? It's not an auto-da-fé that destroys you, as they too, the bonfire builders, the pyromaniacs of the mind, their books too burn with their incendiary doctrines. Faust 3. A considerable pyramid of volumes, charred and now cold, like the rubble work of a mausoleum. That is what I covet and what I obtain. A heap, a pile of burnt volumes, all readability buried between their pages, that heat has soldered, annihilating the distinction between ink and paper, the dehiscence of signifier and signified, and finally, the distinction between sense and ashes. That is what I want, to incinerate the sign and the sense. The bell speaks, the golden bell. He will no longer speak of the sense. He will no longer decipher it. Quite simply, he will no longer understand it. There will be none left of it, but squeezed in his fist like an overripe fruit that is crushed and whose juice squirts forth through his fingers. What used to be knowledge will be finally absolved of all relation, of all overhang, and everything will sink or rise in a pure act. He no longer wants to know it. He wants its death and announces it. He refuses the unbearable distance between knowledge known and knowledge knowing, between scholar and science, between science and science itself. That unbearable and irreducible detour which sends him back his self-consciousness as the necessary cover of his insolence. The evidence of a self-knowledge at the basis of all knowledge of the other, of the object, the thing, the world, language too, and finally thought itself, its noesis, its notion, its judgment. I sound the extinction of knowledge and of discourse, of the proposition and the sentence, of categories and syncategoriems, of copulas and commas. I sound a monotonous and interminable chime within its silent resonance, because extinction is itself interminable. Thought is not abolished in this violent motion that he imposes on it to weigh the thing and its very idea, to melt the one into the other and their compact block into a paste of black glass. It forms itself into a crystal that resounds in rhythmical frequencies from the drumming of its own funeral service. Thought still thinks. Faust 4. What I want is to make thought identical with the being whose thought it is, not similar, not like it, not analogous, but identical. Being and thought, one same thing. An old poem said that, but I no longer want a poem to say it. That poem too will burn. Besides, it has already lost more than one papyrus and more than one verse. But it is necessary for that purpose to arrive at the same thing, that one understands the verbs well.